We're live. We're live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How is everybody on this cold and windy morning, I guess? We're just going to take a couple minutes and let people join us. As you can tell, Adam has officially grown a beard. And it's a different color than it normally is. I want to welcome Corey this morning. He's going to be joining me. Adam is out of town, so you're stuck with me and who I affectionately call Core Bear this morning. So it's good to be with you. We're excited about this morning, and we're excited about this morning show that we get to do every Friday. And we just, again, want to kind of share the purpose behind why we do what we do. We, as Burleson Plumbing and Heating, really care about our community and care about the people that are in our community. And so we've developed this question and answer show as a benefit or something to help our community. So those of you who own homes or want to own homes probably have questions about your home and things inside of your home. I don't know about you, but I've owned a home for a couple of years now and still find things in my home that I never knew they were there. So it's always an adventure. It's always something new. And this is designed to hopefully help you in that process. You don't have an owner's manual for your home. And so hopefully by us answering some of these questions, it can make you feel more comfortable in your home and be able to kind of tackle some of the things that you have questions about. And that's why we're doing this. And so I just want to encourage you, continue to ask us questions, continue to send the questions in. If you go to burlesonplumbingandheating.com/question Q&A, you can fill out the questionnaire. That automatically puts you in a drawing to receive a free item if you're drawn. So I think we're going to be drawing an item pretty soon.
The Wi-Fi thermostat, right?
That's right, the Lyric Wi-Fi thermostat. So every month, or every so often, we're going to be doing drawings like this, and it's entirely based around the feedback we're getting from you guys. So fill out some questionnaires, ask us questions, and we'll hopefully be able to address them and answer them on this question and answer morning show. And hopefully you will be selected to win a Wi-Fi thermostat. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, so before we go any further, I think it's important that we address something about this weekend. Corey, what is happening this weekend?
Well, Ryan, it's Super Bowl Sunday.
Heck yeah, it is. So Corey and I share something in common, and that is we are both Bears fans. Die-hard Bears fans. Da Bears. And so we both feel like that no matter what happens, the Bears win. So this weekend, we're rooting for the Bears. Go Bears.
Ditka and the 85 Bears. Every year.
Every year. I'm excited about the Super Bowl. I don't know, I guess I'm out of the game, so to speak. This is always how I approach the Super Bowl as it relates to the Patriots. As long as they don't win, I'm happy. I can't stand the Patriots.
You and the rest of the country.
Yeah.
South of the New England area.
That's right. No offense to all of you who like the Patriots, but I cannot stand with you on that. I'm sorry. Just not into the Patriots at all. So, this morning, we've got a couple things to go over. First of all, we want to thank our pen sponsor, this beautiful Pilot G2 pen that I use every day. Thank you for that. Who was our sponsor this week? Hef's. That's right. Hef's. Over there in town, the sports bar.
Get you some wings, watch the Super Bowl.
That's right. Watch the Bears kill it. Probably not, but that's all right. I think it's time for, hey, that's neat. What do we got? What do we got today, Corey?
Well, for Hey That's Neat today, we have knee pads. And you might not think that's very neat, but if you've ever used knee pads, work in the construction industry, or even around the house, gardening or whatever, you know that they're always slipping down, not real comfortable. Well, this pair of Lift Apex Gel non-marring knee pads are some of the most comfortable knee pads that I've ever put on. They stay in place, don't slip down. We've sold quite a few of them. Just very good all-around knee pad for protecting your knees.
That's awesome. How much do they run?
I should look that up because I know you're going to ask me that. I think these are in the $40 neighborhood, which is, you know, pricey for four knee pads. We also have a step down from this that don't have the gel, and I think they're in the $30 range.
Okay.
But it's probably a pair of knee pads that are going to last you a lifetime.
Yeah, I would say once you have them, you shouldn't have to replace them. Unless you lose them, which would be sad.
So that's neat.
Yeah, hey, that's real neat. I like it. Thank you, Corey. I'm going to, before we jump into our questions this morning, I'm going to read a quick disclaimer, and we'll get right into the question portion of the show. Everything we suggest, and
I couldn't read that word either.
I'm not sure what that word is, because this is Adam's handwriting. We want everyone to be educated on how things work, but not how to work on technical things. We always recommend having a licensed service professional to be involved in any situation where you're trying to fix something that's beyond your comfort. That's really important for safety.
Where there's risk.
Yeah, where there's risk involved. Burleson Plumbing and Heating and its employees are not responsible for any injury, damages, or loss related to you or your property or your home or anybody else. So, with all that being said, be safe, be smart, and don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to hurt yourself ever. Okay, so this morning, to get started on our questions, first and foremost, Corey has been in the building industry for a long time. He's 65, and so he's not 65, but he has been in the building industry for a long time.
About 24 years.
Yeah, seasoned carpenter. He knows the building industry very well. So this morning, some of our questions are kind of related to that, and I'm going to give him an opportunity to answer these questions and speak authoritatively on them. So our question this morning comes from Candace, and Candace says this: how often should you replace your insulation? Also, why would one end of your house be warmer than the other? Okay, both really great questions, and we'll kind of address them one at a time. So the first part of that question is, how often should you have to replace the insulation in your house?
That's a very good question, especially considering when I came to work today, it was about 25 degrees outside and the wind was howling. Welcome to the western North Carolina mountains.
Yeah.
I would first say that when properly installed, you would hope that the insulation in your home, around your home, should last the life of your home. That's the goal when you're building a house. If you bought an older home, pre-building code, you're going to have probably some issues, maybe some lack of insulation. You were talking about your home and putting a dryer vent in and not finding insulation in the wall.
Nope.
Which is a little bit different than when you should replace your insulation. A couple factors are involved when you talk about replacing insulation or the need to replace insulation. If insulation gets wet, it's no longer doing its job. So if you have wet insulation, you're definitely going to want to get that out of there and replace it. Crushed insulation or compressed insulation loses its R value, and its R value is the resistance to thermal conductivity.
Okay.
So the higher the R value, the better you're insulating. And there are local building codes that you can go by to know where you should use what R value insulation. say your stud wall on the outside of your home. These days you're looking at using an R19 batt insulation, or maybe a foam spray, or a blown-in cellulose type insulation.
Okay.
But that batt insulation, if you crush it, it loses that R value. Especially if you're talking about one place that it might get crushed, that you might need to replace your insulation, is at your wellhead.
Okay.
That's something that's around your home that a lot of people deal with, and if you pack that stuff in there tight, it's going to lose its R value.
Gotcha.
And we've had lots and lots of frozen wellheads.
Yes, we have.
This past month. So wet insulation, crushed insulation, and another problem with insulation that you might not necessarily need to replace your insulation, you may just need to repair it, would be fall-in insulation. I've been in many crawl spaces where the insulation is just sagging. It's come away from the floor joist and it's dropping down, and that may be because it got wet at some point. Might not have been installed properly, but a lot of times homeowners won't get under their house and look around. So if you got a crawl space, open the door, shine a light in there, just kind of check on the condition of your insulation, see what it's doing, because you'll be able to tell very quickly if that's dropped down and laying on the ground. And
so let me ask you this, if let's say your insulation has gotten wet, is it pretty well ruined, or will it dry out and resume its R value capability?
a lot of times it would be like getting cotton candy wet.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's not going to be that good anymore.
That was a great word picture.
Now, if it's still hanging and it gets a little damp on the other side from maybe a wet crawl space condition, and it can dry out thoroughly, you're probably going to be all right.
Okay.
But if it hits the ground and it's soaking in water, or you've got a major leak and it really soaks that insulation, you're probably going to want to replace it.
It's going to be time to replace it. Gotcha. Okay, awesome. And then the second part of the question is, why would one end of your house be warmer than the other? And I can attest to that. Like, there are certain areas of my house, my bedroom, for instance, is one of the coldest places in our house.
Imagine that.
Yeah. But in other areas, it's not. There's other bedrooms in our house that is pretty warm. So what could be a cause of that?
There are many factors that could be involved. First thing I do is probably check my air filter on my heating system.
Okay.
We see air filters come in all the time to the counter or out in the field that are just completely black, caked with dust, hair, all kinds of manner of disaster that goes through your home. And if that air filter's clogged, you're not going to get the right balance of air coming in and out of your system, so you're not heating your home properly.
Gotcha.
So if your house is warmest closest to your furnace, that's probably an indication that the air's not getting to where it needs to be. Some other things to look at: you might have kinks in your ductwork, where they've tried to take it and make a corner, or maybe it's got wet and collapsed. Maybe your ductwork has been disconnected from a vent.
Okay.
So, you're putting heat into your crawl space and not into your house like you should be.
I have a story about that. A couple years ago, we lived in a different home than we do now. There was a crawl space, and there was flex duct ran, and so evidently, I'm assuming it was cats. In the wintertime, we're looking for a warm place, and literally had kind of made their home in the flex duct, and pretty much completely eradicated the connection from the furnace to the bedroom. And so sure enough, when I crawled under there and realized it was like, cat kingdom under there, and they were just soaking up all the warm air while we were freezing, had to go in and couple that back together. And I put up a no trespassing sign, and I'm pretty sure that took care of the issue.
Something else, the location of your heater, which I referred to a minute ago. If it's at one end of your house and the cold end of your house is on the opposite end, you might not be getting enough heat down there. So you may need to look at putting in a booster fan.
Okay.
They make booster fans for your ductwork that will help force air where you need it when that heater comes on and starts to work. You may just have leaky ducts where you need to seal your ducts, which we deal with on a regular basis. Just poorly installed or old ductwork that's letting air leak. Air leakage is a big thing, whether it's your warm air leaking out or cold air leaking in to your home. When you talk about insulation, you also have to talk about air leakage, because when the wind is fierce like it has been in January in our area, that cold air gets into little nooks and crannies that you never knew were there before. We have people that come in and with frozen pipes and say, well, I've lived in this house 30 years and my pipes have never frozen.
Yeah.
But it happens. Something else to check, very simple and easy to check. Check your vents. Make sure they're not shut. Most floor registers or ceiling registers have a way to actually shut the vent.
Yeah.
Maybe you shut them in the summertime because you weren't trying to cool that particular room as much or that part of your house.
Maybe you have a 2-year-old that likes to mess with stuff.
You've had a house guest that doesn't like to sleep in a warm room, so they shut the vents.
Yep.
I mean, that's a simple thing you can overlook.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Easy to fix.
Yeah. Awesome.
One last point. If your home is on a crawl space, your crawl space is supposed to have ventilation, and those crawl space vents should be open in the summertime, but in the wintertime you want to make sure those are closed, because that's your cold air pouring in under your crawl space.
Gotcha.
That's going to cause freezing pipes, going to cause your home to be colder, your furnace to run more. Some people even go as far as to stick insulation in those vents in the wintertime, but just make sure in the summertime when the season changes that you go in there and open those vents back up so you get proper airflow under your house. You don't want to have mold issues or moisture issues under there.
Yeah, that's good to know. I always wondered about that, like when the right time was to open those or to have them closed. So that makes a lot of sense. So hopefully Candace and everybody else that helped you out, and great questions. And again, I just want to encourage all of you as you're watching these and maybe telling your friends and family about the show to keep asking us questions, because this is what it's based upon, is questions that we get from you as homeowners, and or even just people that have questions about plumbing or electricity or heating and air. We're here to answer those questions, and we want to see the show continue to go on, and hopefully you do too. So I hope this is being a great help to everybody out there in our community, and hopefully you're enjoying it. And if you have ideas of how we can make the show better, hey, shoot us a comment and express that to us as well. We would love to hear your thoughts on just how we can make the show better. So we just want to thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. This was a quick question and answer show this morning. We only had one question to go over, but we're so thankful for each of you joining us this morning, and want to say hello to everybody out there, and definitely say hello to Adam. I saw him join in, and want to say good morning, Adam, and
give us lots of likes. I mean,
yes, just hit that like thing, and love. We like hearts too.
I mean, if this particular video without Adam got the most likes, I mean,
what would that say?
What would that indicate?
What would that indicate? You know what it would indicate? There it is. There it is. Get it. Get it. Get it. I think what that would indicate is that people genuinely do like bearded men. Not just mustached men, but bearded men. Unfortunately, Adam he's still working that out. He's still working the full beard out. But I must say I'm entirely proud of him. He's got not only the stash but some of this going on.
Which we actually got a close up of that on last week's show.
Oh, yeah.
You'll have to go back and check that out.
Check out last week's show. Thank you guys very much. Hopefully you have a wonderful, awesome weekend. Happy Friday. Go Bears.
Go Bears.
The Bears.
And
yeah, Patriots, boo. Bears, yay. And
make sure your insulation isn't deflated like a Tom Brady football.
Boom! What a way to end the show. Little Brady digs. That's what you get, Brady, for being a cheater. All right, you guys have a wonderful one. We'll see you later.